What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to another About Teams podcast. And it's a sad day today. Had to witness the my Timberwolves, going down 0-3 to the Dallas Mavericks. And, I could go full rant. I'm going to try and stay somewhat, competent. But the biggest thing this series has boiled down to, it reminds me a lot of the Lakers Nuggets Western Conference Finals last year. And not only that it'll end like a 4-0, but every game has been close. But you remember last year, it just felt like Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray were just getting timely buckets. This year, it's been the same. Just Luka and Kyrie they've been balling out every game, been getting timely buckets. And for the Timberwolves, there are two All-Stars. Anthony Edwards, the first two games, no show. Karl Anthony Towns, all three games, another ineffective game last night, a no-show, especially in the fourth quarter when it matters most. Every game, the Timberwolves have been up in the fourth with a couple minutes to go. But Dallas has just proved they got the two best closers in the game. And I think, that's a testament to how good Dallas is. I'm just very disappointed, though, in the Timberwolves when it's come down to it. Just a no-show from almost all the players besides today. I mean, Anthony Edwards finally showed up, credit to him. But I think this is what makes it so hard and why I was a little bit hesitant. Obviously, I was going to pick the Timberwolves in the preview, and I had them in 7, I believe. But it's so hard when you're relying on a 22-year-old to be your best player, no matter how good he is. But even the best players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant didn't win their first one until they're at least, I believe it was like 26, 27. Maybe a little bit younger for Kobe, but he had Shaq. Definitely not 22 where Ant is right now. He's done a lot of great things, but I still think he has a lot of things to work on, like his decision-making when the double team comes. What I did like this game compared to the last two was he only shot 2 3-pointers. He was getting aggressive going to the rim. And you see what happens? He has his best game, 26 points, really took over that third quarter with a highlight dunk. But Cat, I believe he was 5 of 18, 0 for 8 from 3. Just unacceptable, really. And the defense just can't stop that Luka Doncic pick and roll. Derek Lively has been killing the series before he went down with that injury, then Daniel Gafford. And even when, you make a tough contest, Luka's still going to hit that. That's just what he is. You went from Jokic, thought it'd get a little bit easier, but no. Dallas is just on one right now with this duo. And obviously, both series are 3-0, so we know what the finals will be going, or what the finals is going to be like. And we'll give the teams respect and wait for that preview. But just looking ahead, that'll be a great series. But as for my Timberwolves, I think it's tough because you were in every game. Like, this might end in a sweep, but realistically, you could be the team up 3-0 right now if you did a couple things differently. Or if just if Karl showed up any of these games, they probably win. He's been horrible in all 3. Anthony Edwards, not so great in the first 2. And I believe game 2 is where they really lost that. They were up 2 with like 20 seconds left. Anthony Edwards throws a ball out of bounds. Luka Doncic hits the 3. Naz Reid, who was great that game, can't hit it, and then you're down 0-2. And then this one, Dallas just stabs you in the heart at the end. It's been demoralizing, but it's really credit to how good Dallas is. Since that trade deadline, PJ Washington, I believe it's Derek Jones Jr. was awesome today. Just Daniel Gafford. The additions they made, and Derek Lively off the bench has been arguably the best player in the series. It's sad to see, but I'll take this if you were to tell me after last year being an 8 seed and getting bounced in 5 games, we'd make it to the WCF, top 3 seed, 56 wins, home court advantage home court advantage in the Western Conference Finals, favorite to come out. I wouldn't have believed it, but that's where we were. I think, and we'll talk more in the offseason, just I hope Ant continues to develop. He's still only 22 years old. I'm excited to see him play with LeBron James, KD at the Olympics, get even more experience. And there's going to be a Karl Anthony Towns question because no matter how good he was those first 2 series, he's the reason we're down 0-3. If he shows up in any of these games, you can probably check that as a win for us. But, Luka, Kyrie, we knew they were the best closers in this game. And the price you pay when you have it close in the last 3 minutes, you can almost guarantee the Mavericks are going to win. So that's all I'm going to leave it at for now.
All right. I knew you were going to be taking over that one. I thought I saw something during either the beginning or the middle of last night's game where Karl Anthony Towns has made like 1 or 2 threes in the entire series, which is just
13% from 3, 27% from the field.
That's just abysmal. And then he's going to the press afterwards saying, I'm putting up 1,500 shots a day, cap. You're not. And if you are, stop, because you're clearly tired and you just can't make the shots when you need to make them. But I know I want to show as much respect as I can to both teams, and I don't want to say either series is over because obviously it's not.
Well, no team has ever come back from 3-0. I mean, the closest coincidentally we actually saw was last year with the Celtics.
Right. But if this is the finals matchup of Celtics Mavericks, that does scare me. I mean, the Wolves. I predicted the Wolves to win this, and I guess I'm getting proven very wrong. But this also does scare me because of the Kyrie factor. We always talk about how Luka's gonna, he's gonna score his 30, 10, and 8 or whatever he gets, but Kyrie against Boston is what really scares me because that's an extra huge chip on his shoulder to shut everybody up. So that's going to be a great storyline, and it's going to get a ton of attention. It's going to be awesome to watch, but that's what does scare me is Kyrie because he's been playing out of his mind right now, and he knows how to win. He knows he's a super clutch player, incredible player. He's been almost I want to say mentoring Luka throughout these playoffs and how he's going to grow. Like we saw last night in the press conference, Luka, he said he's tired, and Kyrie's like, "You're supposed to be tired. This is what it's like this time of year. You just got to keep pushing." And then the role players they picked up during the deadline, like PJ Washington, have just been playing lights out. So it's a scary team to see, especially when they're doing what they're doing to the best defense in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's just a couple things. I'm really excited to see Derek White, Drew Holiday matchup on Luka and Kyrie because I know that'll be one of them. But if I'm predicting this, I mean, it's not like the Wolves have scrubs on them. They have a second Jay McDaniels, all defensive second team. They have the defensive player of the year in the paint. But Rudy's been kind of a no-show this series, and that's where I'm most surprised is Karl Anthony Towns on the older side, 28. Rudy Gobert, 31. Kind of you need to lean into your big men, and that's where I thought we had the advantage in the front court. But Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, and just been outplaying them. And coincidentally, McDaniels, this game, Edwards, and Naz Reid have been the best players this series. And if you're optimistic, those are your youngest players, and those are the guys you want to continue to build around. There's definitely going to be a question mark with Cat this series, but fund the Wolves for the next game. If you want to have any shot, I think you got to – your defense is getting cooked regardless right now, especially in the clutch. If it comes down to it, another close game, I'd bench Rudy and just at least have Cat's offensive presence out there for them to respect him. You got to – because I don't know if you saw in game 2, Naz Reid ended the game. And I think he also may have ended game 3. You just got to get spacing out there. You got to go offense for offense and hope your three-point shooting is just better than theirs. Because I believe game 1, Dallas only hit 6 threes. So you just got to hope. That's what I would do in the clutch because Rudy's ineffectiveness on offense has been just a punch. And at least, if Cat's going to have another game where he goes 0 for 8, so be it. You just got to go down swinging. Throw all your offense you can at them.
Yeah, I agree. You got to just outpace them. I mean, they've kind of proven they can beat your defense, but
man, yeah. So what's the point of having the defensive player of the year in right now? Because
all year, man, you were tooting Rudy Gobert's horn at school, telling everybody, he's the piece.
Well, the thing I don't get is people called it the worst trade ever, and did you give up 5 first-round picks? Yeah, but I mean, we've seen this year. What's that going to be the 28th pick? at that point, who gives a shit? So it's like, and plus, this is the best season I've watched in Timberwolves basketball. No team has ever come close to 56 wins. I think it's like arguably the best season in franchise history, making it only in one KG team has made to the WCF. So, I would take this for 5 first-round picks because you still have optimism building around them. And the beauty is Rudy Gobert gives you that floor of like, a bottom like 10 defense with just him, as he's proven in Utah. But he's got to do something in the clutch. I'm not saying bench him the whole game because you need that defensive prowess, but in the clutch, because every game it's felt like it's been tied with like 3 minutes to go, or even Timberwolves up by like 2, and then the Mavs just get open shooters. You just want more athleticism out there. I would just because Naz Reid has been great so far most of the series. Game 2, he hit 7 3-pointers. So if I come down to that, you got to try something different because it seems like, I don't know what the adjustment is on the pick and roll. They haven't done anything. Maybe it's just unguardable. But if that was the case, Dallas would probably be like 70 win team if the pick and roll is unguardable. But something is just not working there. Don't know what it is, but should be interesting to see. But I'm expecting this series to end in a sweep. Yeah. But we'll talk about about this in the offseason.
I'm
another game to be played.
I'm gonna be generous, and I'm gonna give Minnesota 1, just because I think they do they're gonna want to go down swinging, and I think maybe the Mavericks. I don't want to say ease up because you never want to do that in a closeout game, but
if I'm Dallas, you gotta look at it too. Boston probably most likely going to end their season tonight. Do you really want to?
Right.
If I'm Dallas and I lose this game, not saying they obviously won't win the series, but if you lose this game, then you have to go back to Minnesota. And then if Minnesota, feeds off that home crowd, off that road win, come out. And then we've seen it like with the Rangers-Carolina series. Then it goes back. It's another game 6, eventually, plus with Luka's injury. You want him to get as much rest as possible because the finals doesn't start until June 6th, no matter what the outcome is. So we actually might have to come up with a week's worth of ideas for basketball if both end in a sweep. But if I'm Dallas, the next game is May 28th. You give Luka over a week's worth of rest, which will be huge. But if you don't want to even if the Mavs win in 6, that just unnecessary beat up, more travel, more exhaustion, especially on the younger guys like PJ Washington who have never been in this spot before. So it's just kind of like, they'll probably still win the series, but if I'm Dallas, you want to end it out because then if it gets 4-0 or if it gets 3-1, then 3-2, and then it's like, oh shit, now we go back to Dallas, and now Timberwolves have this momentum. You don't want that to happen. Even though I'd love that. More basketball for my team, but.
And just if the series continues and say that Dallas does lose a game or 2, not only does that, apply to the rest factor of, the Celtics would be getting more rest, but now they're also getting more film on you. And if you're losing games, they can see how to beat you. So.
And it's a credit.
You want to finish it as quick as possible.
Yeah, and it's a credit just to end it on this. I'm very interested to see. We saw Tatum's first performance in the finals. Now, how does he match up? He's probably going to get that PJ Washington, Derek Jones assignment, but PJ Washington has had Cat in jail. Cat's some of his misses, especially from 3, have just been open and they just haven't fallen. Especially in game 2, it felt like everything was going in and out. So maybe it has just been unfortunate, but when you just needed at least maybe an efficient 20 points, 2 out of these 3 games. I'll even let you have like one of the games tonight. You're probably still up 2-1 if you're Minnesota. So it's going to be interesting going back to the drawing board because you make it to the Western Conference Finals, get swept. All games were close, but Carl was a no-show. It'll be interesting to see what they do this offseason. But, I just hate to see the Anthony Edwards hate. But, I think this is why, though, you can't talk about a 22-year-old being or some people after they beat the defending champion Nuggets were calling him the best player in the world. It's like you gotta there's a reason why you haven't seen a 22-year-old win a NBA Finals game or win an NBA Finals trophy. It's because you need these growing pains, and I feel like he's hit a wall this series with the Mavs defense that has just been number one the last 20 games of the regular season. And then this series, Derek Jones Jr. has done a great job. But what did I say after game one? Just attack. And Anthony Edwards did that today and had his most effective game, a highlight dunk over, I forget who it was, but nice dunk. Was just being aggressive, which is what I like. If you want to have any shot, you got to be aggressive like that and go down swinging, get as many shots up as you can. So, or they might just roll over and Dallas wins this game by 30 because they know it's over. But who knows? We'll see. But with that being said, we do have one game tonight. Another 3-0 series hole. Celtics come back in game 3 Saturday night, down 18. Unreal. Drew Holiday with a great steal. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say this real quick. You're obviously a Celtics fan. Indiana might win. I don't know if Tyrese is playing, but Boston's winning this in maximum 5 games. They're just the better team. They close it down the stretch in Indiana. I know it's going to be demoralized after that loss. But, yeah, I mean, this series is over too.
Yeah. Like you said, that was a great game. What was it, 2 nights ago? I'm so mixed up on all the sporting events. Yeah, 2 nights ago, great showing by Holiday. Tatum probably had his best. Actually, no, not probably. He did have his best performance of the playoffs with, I think he had 36, 10, and 8 with no turnovers. So that's a huge game for him. But now the questions are going to be, okay, can he do that in the games that really matter? Because it's, this is not disrespect to the Pacers, but the Pacers aren't the Mavericks or a team you're going to see in the finals.
It's not a real, as much as we gave credit for, this isn't a real Eastern Conference Finals team. Milwaukee, no Giannis, no Dame for one of those games. New York, Jalen Brunson went out in Game 7, but before that, no Julius Randle, OG Anunoby didn't play. It's just as much credit as we want to give Indiana for making it this far. This wasn't really an Eastern Conference I wanted to see because Celtics were just going to smoke them in the games-wise.
I get the feeling, too, though, that with how beat up the Knicks were and, Brunson obviously breaking his hand, towards the end of that game, even though that was, the game was already gone. So let's say Brunson did play. I still feel like we would have seen something close to this. Probably not a sweep, but they were.
Well, even just before the series started, OG was playing. If you gave me the team with Brunson, a healthy OG, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, Deuce McBride off the bench, that probably would have been a 6-7 game series. Just how good Brunson was. But obviously, once OG went down, then it's probably Celtics in 5-6, and then once Brunson went down, it probably would have been a sweep. But that's just, it sucks because injuries have been a big part. But as long as Luka and Kyrie, mainly Luka because he's been dealing with injuries, as long as he's healthy, this is the Celtics' chance to prove they are the best team. But boy, Dallas is on a mission right now, so that'll be such a great finals.
I will also say that as much as people like to call it a Mickey Mouse, a light breeze to the finals or whatever, they're beating the teams in front of them. And last year they did not do that. They were the 1 seed, I believe. They were the 1 seed and played the 8 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals, who really they had Jimmy Butler and Bam, who are damn good players, but the Celtics were still the better team, and they just rolled over and died every time they went down like this. If this was last year when they went down, 18 points, the Celtics are probably rolling over and just chucking up threes and hoping they go in to get back in the game, but not really.
Yeah. I think there's still – the one thing that concerns me ahead of that Dallas series, there still is a little bit of thing with that. We saw in 1 or 2 games with the Cavs. They sometimes just keep shooting it even when the shots aren't falling. So that'll be something I'll look for because Dallas just has length. Derek Jones Jr., Peter Washington, just length on the perimeter to make things difficult. And even a credit to Luka because Luka's really stepped up his defensive level. He's really bought in kind of. I know obviously you've been watching the games, but it's still so annoying. It's him getting every whistle, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Luka, yeah, no, he's
It's annoying because he's such a great player, but man, it's like tough to watch because we're having, especially last night, Tony Brothers. I don't want Tony Brothers reffing a finals game because it's like these games are 30 minutes longer than they need to be because he needs to, blow his whistle to make him and Scott Foster make the games about himself. That's another mini tangent. It's like that's just annoying as shit. It's like,
no,
dude,
yeah. Last
no
night's
one wants to watch reviews like the whole game.
I agree with you.
I got from the Score North podcast, no one wants Scott Foster. Like 30,000 fans aren't showing up to see you blow a whistle. They want to see these teams play because he's always like, need to go review for a flagrant foul. Like, no, like just play the game. It's hard hits, playoff basketball. Like everyone's gonna be fine. But yeah, that's just another thing. So I know you'll get frustrated, Celtics fans, if Luka plays because man, it's just like holy crap. Like, is that really a foul?
I will say though, like I'll admit, Tatum does get to the line a lot too. Though he gets probably a lot of those same calls, and I think the NBA wants those guys to get to the line a bit more because they want them to score more because they're the faces of the league, and it sucks how that's how it is, and it shouldn't be because it's
I thought playoffs though we were supposed to limit that. Regular season, I mean, I guess you want to get those season averages up, but it's like I feel like someone like Ant Edwards doesn't get that call because he's just so strong. Like it doesn't look like he's getting hit and doesn't like flail his arm. He just tells him, and other players like if you breathe on some of these superstars, not gonna say who. Yeah, so that's just frustrating. But I get it. Officiating's tough, so I'm not gonna like diss it, but I just don't like. I'd rather have them not blow their whistle at all. Like let them play through tough contact and don't call fouls than call a foul every single play. Because there's fouling every single play, really. If we're gonna be like that tough, they just choose their points when to make it a foul. So it's kind of annoying, but
maybe we can go over this for if they're both series sweeps and we need something to talk about for a week. Maybe we can make an episode just on how the NBA can fix officiating.
Yeah, that'll probably be another good off-season topic because holy crap, that is true. But yeah, so we got one game tonight. Will the Pacers force a game 5, or will it be on here tomorrow? But the Celtics officially punched their ticket. Either way, Celtics will punch their ticket. Just don't know if there'll be a delay in that, but it'll be interesting to see if Tyrese comes back tonight.
No Porzingis though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't even play him if he was ready because you're up 3-0. Don't even risk it now. If they were up 2-1, maybe, or if they were down 1-2, which they easily could have been, to be honest. Games 1-3, Indiana really. Game 1-2, we talked about that. Indiana just choked that. That's when the series was really lost. But with that being said, thank you guys for listening to our NBA recap, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.